Adam Posner. Should I say famous Adam Posner? Welcome to Spotlight Fridays. What a pleasure.
Back to you, famous Anna. Lovely to be here. Really excited for this little chat.
Me too. For everyone who joins us, can you please make sure you say hi, drop us an emoji so that we know you're watching and listening, and feel free to ask any questions because it's not that often that we have a pleasure of chatting with Adam because he's been such a busy bee with releasing his 13th edition of his Love of Money report, which I can tell you, it's open on my desktop. I think it's tab amongst the 37 tabs that I have open. This is definitely in the prime position. I'm staring at it right now. And I always reference the report. Thank you so much for joining me, Adam. I'm looking forward
Thanks.
to this conversation.
Yeah, me too. Very much. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. So, loyalty is top of mind for many people. It means many things to different people as well. I would like you to clarify it for us and mention your report as well. It's very comprehensive, it's very detailed. So, your first edition of that report you launched in, I believe, 2013.
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah,
So, and
it was launched in 2013. And I don't know, I'll just give you a little story about how it happened. A colleague by the name of Pete Noble was running an agency and I was sharing space. I was renting space from him. And we had a coffee one day and I said, this loyalty program stuff is fantastic, but where's some research? And he said, oh, I don't know. And I said, I'm going to do a research study. And he said, okay, I'll partner with you. And we came up with these questions and we got a research professional and we put it out there and we had absolutely no idea who or what would be interested, but we actually hired a PR specialist and they put out some, and the media got hold of it because it was the first of its kind. And I'd never even spoke to the media. So imagine getting calls from, in that day, The Age, Financial Review. I was like freaking out. But yeah, so 2013 it started. It had a lot of downloads. We had no idea the appetite. We just had no idea. So yeah, 2013 was when it was born.
remarkable. So, what do you think's changed most in loyalty strategy since launching that first edition?
Wow. When we launched the questions, the areas that I was more interested in was, the structures of programs. So did consumers or members, were they interested in points or discounts or personalization or, the elements of a program was the beginning of what we were interested in. And as time evolved, the whole industry, the loyalty program by definition industry, has just exploded. And so it's become so much more, it's about the technology behind it and the investment in the people and the training. And we've got a whole layer of education and also actually programs. They used to be I would say the poor cousin, and now they're the rich uncle. Brands are lifting them into the boardroom. I mean, I know when I met you, Anna, and you said, loyalty programs in our business when you were back in your corporate days, it's like it was there, and it was important, but now it's even more important for many brands and businesses. And it's not just a department for a Monday morning work in progress item, send out some more emails. It's actually far more valuable as an asset of connecting with customers. So what's changed? Technology's changed, sophistication, consumers have changed. The experience has improved. The program propositions is not only retail anymore. It's gone right across verticals. Everything from a long sales cycle like automotive, or even talking about customer engagement, customer loyalty. Where does a program fit there? Insurance, telco, you name the industry, and they're trying to explore programs. So I think 2013 was heavy retail, grocery, airline, but since then it's gone very wide.
Incredible. And I think the ownership changed as well, because before it was a person who sat in a corner and occasionally answered the questions around customer service and what happens in loyalty and what gets measured. But these days, it's the entire organization has and shares the ownership of loyalty, because ultimately this is your relationship with your customers as well. So it has to start with the owner, the CEO, and the founder. or managing director and stem from there.
There's nothing more I can add to that except you're 100% on the point, because if it's not driven from a leadership point of view, then it becomes axed at the next CFO meeting. So it's got to be owned right through. And I'm seeing a lot of changes now. I'm seeing a lot of programs reevaluating their financial element of their program. And whilst they don't work on a lot of every program, I can see behind the scenes it's the financials, and suddenly times are a little bit tough, and where's the money going, and what's the attribution, and where's the profit. So alignment across the business. In fact, I'll tell you a quick story. I ran a workshop with a large insurance company not long ago, and there were 25 people in the room. And who was in the room was the best thing ever. We had the legal department, we had the head of legal, we had the CFO, and the head of legal were the most creative. And I was like pumping with excitement, because if the legal people can buy into a program early, guess what? It doesn't get, it gets to market quicker.
Guess what? I have a counter story for you,
Yeah.
because with one of my clients, I have a loyalty whip with them every
Yeah.
single week in person, and they
Yeah.
have a representative from the legal department in
Oh,
every single whip. And
that's
can I
amazing.
tell you, a life changer.
Yeah, there we go. So you asked me what's changed. There's an example in the time, is that all functions, stroke departments, stroke people across all layers are now vested in a program.
Very true. A quick question. Who came
Yeah.
up with the title
For love or
of
money?
the report?
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I'll take ownership. It was when I said to Pete, what should we call it? Originally, we were playing with, I had a version called Share the Love. In fact, that was the second edition, because I love Share the Love. But then I realized that fundamentally human beings are driven through love or money. I mean, let's just emotion or transaction, with a consumer relation, with a relationship with a business. Fundamentally transactional, as you'll know, and we can talk about emotional loyalty in a minute. But for love or money, and it was first of all for love of money. And I said, no, humans need a choice. Do they want to engage for love, or do they want to engage for money, or for both? So we finally got for love or money.
I love that. The humans need the choice. Yes, for sure. Yes or no? This is a great segue for my next question about the emotional loyalty. So, is emotional loyalty, in your view, gaining more traction than transactional?
This is a little bit of an interesting moment in time that we're in, and I'd suggest it's in the land of commerce, financial the basis of financial elements of a program are still the strong at the bottom. So in the pyramid, or in my 9 currencies, financial offering, savings, discounts, cash back, whatever the mechanism, points for rewards, they're still very strong, right? But it's almost like what I would call playing on price, because and you would know, you've been a retailer in a retail business for more years than I've been alive. But the point is that you're playing on price with your financial element. So what's your next layer? How do you connect with your customer over and above a financial offering? Because your competitor can come in and give you double points, and you've got single point, $1.1, and they'll give you 10 points, $1. So they'll always play with you in the price aspect or the financial aspect. So to answer your question, yes, brands are trying to find the next layer of emotional connection, getting to the heart, getting to people in a more experiential way. So it's not only transactional, and they're trying to find ways in which to engage in what we call emotional loyalty.
Remarkable. I've got a great example for you. So I had a
Yeah.
phone call with one of my clients today at 9 o'clock, and it's exactly what we discussed, because the segue for it was, we think that we're losing some customers to Temu and Shein. And my response to that was, they will never be able to compete with you with your database, your engagement, and your VIP customers. Not ever. Yes, a small portion of them will purchase that crap, whatever they purchase for the kitchen and utensils, and they throw a couple of apparel items into it with no promise that they're going to return them. If they don't like it, they're just going to throw it in the bin because it doesn't mean anything to them. But that emotional connection with the brand, they will never compete on that. So I wouldn't even think that they're a competitor, and they're a competitor anyway. So this is literally, we spoke about this morning. These are real conversations that are taking place. So that's why I wanted to ask you these questions, because I actually knew the answer. It was a loaded question, but I quote you all the time anyway. So I'm just thinking that you live in my head. But that comes down to us knowing each other probably for a long time as well. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if I've been in retail for longer you've been in
No.
life, but that was a good saying though.
Yeah, well, it's like almost a dog life. You know what they say? A dog is 1 year, 7 years. So maybe
Yeah.
when I say that, I'd say, how many years were you in retail? 15, 20? I don't know, but it's close to times by 7. Oh, no, that's too old. That's not me. Sorry. So we'll go back.
Exactly. Good recovery, Adam. Great
Yeah.
recovery. Let's move on to our next
Okay, next
question.
one.
All right, so I still onto this report, and I absolutely love, and I don't know the feedback that you're getting, but I just love the 9 currencies that you mentioned in that report. Shall we talk about that? Do you mind?
Yeah, you're a creator. You write content, you comment and everything. And every year when I do the report, I say to myself, what's new? So what's new out there that I can test with consumers? So this is all about getting the customer's point of view, the member's point of view, right? What's new that's happening? What's trending? So there's many trends over 13 years that I've been tracking. And the last few years, I had the 6 currencies, which was like a Maslow's hierarchy. And every time I was presenting the 6, there was a combo element in them. And I decided this year I'm going to break it up. So the 9 currency was born for this year, and it's actually being very surprising in the feedback I've got, the presentations I'm doing, and the people using it to form their propositions. So, the 9 go from the financial, show me the money, the financial currency, the experiential, which is very much about, adding an experience to my life or memory. Then it goes to the joyalty moment of magic, which is add some joy to my life. Then it goes to utility and how can the program save me time, make my life easy. Then it goes from there to personal. So how do you show me you know me, which is using the data, going to my ego and exclusivity. So that's very much data driven, tiers and elements. It's the personal piece. Then it goes into a community. So, can I form a community of people around the program? And we can go to examples. Then it goes to cause. Can the program actually help a cause or a charity? And there's examples around those. And then the one that's really come out more recently, which is the data. Are you using my data as a currency? Do you respect me? So the 9 currencies are a great framework when you're building a proposition. Where do you sit as a brand with your program? Are you heavy on financial and on community? Are you a bit of blend of everything? What are you going to own? And that's the question that I ask. Take the 9 currencies and decide where you as a brand and your program and where are your gaps and what do you want to own?
What have you found? Have you found the brands that sit across most currencies, or what is that number? Or is it just the 3 or the 4?
Well, 100% sit in the financial currency, and we all admit that, and we all know that, right? They've all got some, at least, even if it's not ongoing, they've got some offer of some financial kind. So 100%. And then it starts to change radically towards, they all then talk about experiences, and we've got, in retail fashion, they will have certain special events or exclusive curation or something. So it becomes more experiential. Less so, and growing, joyalty moments of magic, which we can talk about until the cows come home. They're starting to experiment with those, to test and learn with those. The utility one, they sometimes find hard to get, depends on the category, but like, for example, a digital receipt, that's kind of like saving me time. It's making my life easy in terms of a program. Where the gaps are, or the opportunities, are community and cause. And there are some programs like Eat and Donate with Grilled. Amazing. They're all about transaction. 8 burgers, donate the last burger to the hungry. 185,000 burgers donated. So they're strong on, cause and transaction. plus maybe others. And there are other examples as we go.
Yes, I just saw the post. I don't know if you had an opportunity to see it on LinkedIn today that Rohan from Go Generosity posted about
Yes.
their partnership. That these
Yeah.
are great examples that are coming through, and in most cases, is actually driven by the customer. They go to the brand and say, "We want you. We want to support the cause. We want to donate the points. So tell us how." You have to create the
Wow.
mechanism to make it easier for us to do that. So it's so great to see that emerging and taking over. And of course, this conversation wouldn't take place if I didn't mention joyalty. We just have to talk about joyalty, Adam.
Royalty
I
moments of
know
magic. Yeah.
this is just
Look,
taking.
it's taking a life of its own, but also we're all feeding it, you, me, everyone, finding examples. Always, you get a personal note when you buy stuff, or you have this experience with that person at Harvey Norman. I remember that great story. It's not only about, it's about the interactions you have with the brands, as a human level. It's about the box that arrives, the gray box that arrives, and you open it and there's confetti and a chocolate inside. It's this little handwritten note. There's so many examples that everyone and anyone are experiencing. You bring them to life beautifully in some of the experiences. I've seen some of them, and I was asked yesterday, the other day, is like, how do they at scale? One of the businesses I was presenting to have 4 million members on their program, and so, Adam, how can we bring joyalty moments of magic to life for 4 million members? So my answer to the question was, well, first of all, do you really need to do it for 4 million? You can maybe do it for a segment. What about your top, your top, I've got a great example of, you can go to your top VIPs and do a moment of magic for them. And also, it's not all about, you can use other people's money, partnerships, OPM. Partners can support a wider base. Also, it doesn't have to be a product. It can be the tone of voice. I love this example. There's a great coffee company that when you subscribe to their business, they write you this little note, and you get a smile in the mind. Even that's a joyalty moment of magic. It's creating a smile in the mind.
That's beautiful. Yes, I remember your example with your local shop as well.
Which one?
The local coffee shop. The
Yeah,
card,
well,
the
the gifting on, you mean the one that
yes,
that I
yeah,
shared last year? So that's a little personal story
yeah.
that I know you love, and I'll share it quickly, which is, it's just a very personal thing, that my 10th coffee, and I love my local guy, and he knows me. As he walks in, I can see him, and he knows it's a triple shot skinny latte, and it's in my own cup. And he even gives me a special price, which I won't mention because people will go crazy because of the cost of coffee these days.
Don't
But
mention.
yeah, I won't mention how much I pay, but the 10th one, and is, I give it to him to gift on to people coming in without me knowing. So I walk out the shop and I say, please give that freebie to, and I never want to know who you give it to. And him and his team just delight. I know there's a young lady who works there, and every time I give her the freebie one, her eyes light up, and she said, of course, and they all buy into it. So that's just a very personal one. And this is my second year. And just so you know, I'm on, last year I did 31, and I'm on my 18th at the moment. As of tomorrow, as of Monday, I'll be giving the 18th gift. So that's just a personal thing. It's my own little joyalty, but someone else gets it. That's the story.
Yes, but you enjoy it as well. This is the whole thing, right? It's a win-win, and that lights your face up because, and I still remember the story too, because that's what makes it memorable. Like Morella's post about her experience at Melbourne Airport this morning,
Yes,
exactly
I
the
love
same
that.
thing. We'll make sure that Dan is very famous now. I actually look forward to meeting the guy when I'm going
Isn't it
to go into the
amazing when
airport.
there's
It's true.
humans out there? Sorry to interrupt you. When there's a human out there in a pretty, how everybody's blood pressure rises at the airport. Everyone, no matter whether you're
It's
a
true.
gold member or not, your blood pressure, I bet you if you did the blood pressure monitoring, it's up. And you go in, there's a
That's a great
human being.
suggestion.
I know. I
We
bet
should
you if
put it.
just think about it. How it's always
Uh,
an extra layer of stress. 100%. Every human at it, whether you're going overseas to the
agree.
most luxury, it's still a moment of stress. Yeah. And
Yes,
there's a
for sure.
human being there that realizes that does something that just for that moment reduces your cortisol, or whatever the impact on your human body is.
It's remarkable. And remember my story about Sasha from Harvey Norman.
I just mentioned that 5 minutes ago because, it's that human being that just made you. And look what happened. We need more humans like that.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. Well, it made him a superstar at Harvey Norman as well, well deserved. So, but it was, and every time I walk into the Harvey Norman, I think my head cannot fit through the door because they all know me. Anna's
Yeah.
here. I was like, yes, just
Yeah, I
remember
love it.
me,
Yeah.
because I'm so vulnerable. Anyway, this is, yeah, great examples.
Yeah.
Very human examples as well, and very real. So I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So, who do you think does duality very well?
Um, as per some of the examples we've chatted about, there's no one specific, lots of brands do it because joyalty moments of magic essentially are what I call random, unexpected moments of kindness. Random, yeah. Even though they can be what I call planned, I call it planned spontaneity. A brand with a loyalty program can still plan joyalty moments of magic. You can budget for it, you can plan it. But IKEA and IKEA family, from what I've noticed in the public domain, and I've had a few presentations with them, is they do look for ways to create more joy in the life of their family members. And one of the great examples that they did not long ago was when they identified their top 350 members, and they sent them a gold baller card. So, the balls that you get at the end of the line, the meatballs, the veggie balls, the chicken balls, which they're famous
Oh
for,
God,
they
yes,
sent
so
their top three,
famous.
yeah, famous, but they sent a gold in the mail baller card to the top VIPs, however they defined them. I mean, really, if you opened up a beautiful package and said, "Hey, Anna, we know you love IKEA Cafe, and our meatballs are famous. Here's for a year's free
Incredible.
meatballs, Anna."
I didn't
I
know
just
that.
That's one example, and I know they do others. They do others that I've commented on. So the answer to your question, it's difficult to find brands who are doing it. It's a strategy. Because joyalty moments of magic, as I said, planned spontaneity,
Absolutely.
and
Remember the
brands can do
examples
that.
with Princess Polly? You
Yeah, well,
interviewed, yes,
another one. I mean, they've got such an engaged community, and they do a brilliant job with their money can't buy experiences for their VIPs, and things like I remember in the interview, things you've left on your wish list, and they go in and they find people who've in their loyalty program who've left items on their wish list and sent them those items.
it's remarkable. I love that example. That one stood out for me. Sorry, I think it's Chloe. Is it Chloe that shared
Yeah, yeah,
those
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
examples?
Chloe, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure. Yes, when I met her in person, I reminded her. She was surprised that I actually remember. I was like, how can you not remember that? That was my highlight. But yes, no, it's definitely impactful, and it's already happening, many of those examples. And I agree with you. That has to be spontaneous, but that's what makes them
yeah. And
duality
then I get
moments.
questions, I often get challenged by the CFO. Well, how can we afford this? And where's the money? Show me the money of this joyalty moments of magic. And from my research and for love of money for the last 2 years, I've looked at what sort of outcomes come from a member when they get these joyalty moments of magic. And they've all said in the research, I'll spend more, I'll come back more often, but I'll tell others. So that you can track the financials back to the base of whom you're giving these to see if there's been an impact. And so now we're closing the loop of not just giving away stuff for the sake of it. We're giving a moment of joy, but also there could be a return back to the business.
Correct. And the whole advocacy,
Yeah.
the impact of advocacy is huge. I'm going to quote the percentage. I might be wrong, but it's definitely in high 60s of people purchase from the brands that they get recommended to,
Mm-hmm.
because that ambiguity is removed, the
Mm-hmm.
uncertainty is removed. And if it comes from the person that they trust, then there is no issue. They just proceed to check out immediately. I do it all the time, all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to mention AI, Adam.
Okay.
We can't not mention AI. And I've noticed that you brought this into and started exploring this in your report as well. I feel like it's probably based on what I've read about it from your report. We need to explore it in part 2 because it deserves the entire separate conversation. But if you can just mention a few points around that, that would be amazing.
Yeah, again, back to the philosophy and the purpose behind the research study. Whenever I'm looking to the industry and looking around what's happening, clearly that's been, everywhere and anywhere. You can't wake up without hearing those two words. So letters, AI. So I, for this year, put together 6 use cases that I'd researched and found to members, saying, here are 6 use cases of how loyalty programs use AI to improve your experience as a member. And I put the 6 use cases, again, because of time. We won't go through all of them, and people can grab and read all about them. And I was interested in A, their awareness, and B, how comfortable are they with these use cases from loyalty programs using AI, and how concerned. So it was awareness, comfort, and concern. And the results have been surprising, but also I didn't know what to expect. 66% said they were aware of at least one of the 6 use cases, and the majority were aware of AI being used for, chatbots and or customer service, because I think the awareness of that is whenever we're going through frequent flyer and we're booking, someone pops up and says, "Hi, I'm Jess. Can I help you?" And we know it's an AI. So I think the awareness is very much driven by that use case. But there are others in terms of personalization, in terms of fraud, in terms of operational efficiency. So it's the first year. I'm going to track it and see how we go next year.
Brilliant. So can we book in a part 2, you think, just to talk
We
about
can
it?
explore these and go deeper on who's concerned. And just, it's really interesting that you asked me that next question, because the who, it's not a porridge of everyone. We got to look at the generations. So generationally, there are differences. We've really got to remember our base is not and I use that analogy, just a lump of porridge. In there are beautiful little, nuts and pieces of, I'm using this analogy with craziness, maybe because I had porridge this morning. But the point is, generationally, you see a lot of differences.
Yes, well, between you and I, because apparently I was in retail before you were born, so we would have a massive generational difference too. Don't worry, I'll remind you of that a few times. We're going to switch gears, and
Okay.
I would like to ask you a couple of more personal questions, not about the report and what you do. I'd like to know what's been your biggest challenge and what did you learn from it?
Not having enough time with you to have a coffee and lemon ginger tea and discuss life and books.
Oh my God, Adam, really? You make me feel so guilty right now.
Well,
I'm
there
going
you
to
go.
get
That was
off this
the purpose.
call.
You didn't expect that answer. Look, I think every day, the messiness of life might look great on the LinkedIn and all the other things, but there's messiness behind it. We are humans. We have so many things. So challenges over life, I've had, like you and any number of things. It's just, life is messy. And yet it's also beautiful. So, there's no one. I mean, there's many of those, what we call sliding moments or serendipity moments, that go that way and the life could have been that, or we went this way and here we are. So, you and I, and this is what you and I discuss about when we do have our coffees and books. So, challenge, I don't have one particular one that, there's so many. So maybe one, I was 12 when my mother died. Maybe I reflect on that as the moment in life when I stopped being a child and I had to be an adult. But that's for another psychology session when we have coffee. Yeah.
Yes, we had that discussion at some point a couple of years ago. I recall it very clearly, and I know the story a little bit. So that's definitely was a pivotal moment. And you migrated. You're one of 3 brothers. You migrated to Australia as well. So there are many, many points. But
Yep.
I agree with you. Life is messy. It was meant to be messy. And we meant to learn from it, and we should be just okay with that and accept the fact that chaos can happen any
Yeah.
moment, and
Yeah.
that's okay, because there are some things that we can control, some things we can't.
Exactly.
So that's where the community is
Yep.
so important. So we're here to
Community and
support
support
and
around
help each
you.
other
Yeah.
out. Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
agree. One more question. What advice would you give your younger self?
That's me now. I'm young now, so I'll just go for it.
No,
So how
you are
young?
younger than me.
Interesting. How young? We won't go there. How young is young? Younger self. I want to just try and
It's
get a.
it's up to you. It's
Okay.
entirely this is all
I'll
about
push
you,
that into
Adam.
my early 20s, let's say.
Let's go.
I'd give myself 3 pieces of advice. Emotionally, I'd say less catastrophizing. Everything is figure outable. There's a famous book called Everything is Figure Outable. Maybe you've read it.
Yes, Maria
But
Fort. Is that
yeah,
it? Maria
you know
Forleo.
it. And I know you know it. And that's why, but it's kind of that everything is figure outable. Stop catastrophizing. We still carry on today, but like that's the advice I'd give to my younger self. Almost everything in life works out somehow, almost. Number 2, so that was more about the emotional advice. Physical advice is swim more. And you
Not
wouldn't
everyone can
have,
swim like you do in
yeah, well,
freezing waters.
one of our friends also, who I did loyalty leaks with, James. So we're swimmers in the bay, and this morning I swam 10 degrees, Anna, no wetsuit. That's why I'm so hyped up. 3 hours later, my whole body is still like going crazy, coming back to reality. So swim more. It's just amazing. I love swimming. And my third piece of advice for my mental younger self, and you'll love this one, is read more.
Yes, that's brilliant. Well, we have the whole book club exchange, right? Every time we catch up, I walk away with a whole list of books that I promise that I'm going to read, and they're all wonderful recommendations. So I always enjoy it. And yes, thanks for making me feel guilty. I'll definitely lock in our next one, and that
Good.
would be a pleasure. It's always a pleasure, Adam.
I know.
I could see that you're buzzing. I think you're just trying to stay warm. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But
My
you
toes,
and
I'm wiggling my
James.
toes. My toes are still like I still can't feel them, but that's okay. It's all good.
Yes. Yes, you can. Now you just have to jump around, but it's luckily it's sunny outside.
Yeah.
So this has been a fantastic conversation as always. I really appreciate it. We'll definitely lock in part 2, and
Yep.
we'll speak about those 6 case studies and around AI if we can. But with that report, there's always so much to unpack. So, what is the best way for people to reach out to you?
Well,
LinkedIn is a good.
LinkedIn, yeah, definitely. Or the website, the website, the point of loyalty, .com.au. It's got my blogs and now, as you know, I'm going to get you on as a guest onto What's the Point of Loyalty vlogcast, where I'm going to have some fun asking you some curly questions.
Oh, I'm sure.
But thank you very much, Anna. You're doing I don't have to tell you, you're doing an amazing job with the community, with helping and pushing and lifting. And from when I met you, it sounds like I'm doing the vlogcast already on you. When I met you and you were in corporate and retail, and then you said to me, I'm going to go and leave and I'm going to go do something. And then suddenly you came out, and before you know it, look at you. I mean, wow. Okay, that we'll save for the next one. Hey, Anna.
Let's do that. It's been such a pleasure, Adam. I love our conversation. Thanks everyone for joining us. We really appreciate you. Have a great day and enjoy your weekend. And we'll see you
Thanks.
next week.
See you, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, Anna. Bye.